This video is called Stop Making This Party Finder Mistake in FF14. Let's see what Rinon has to say.
Hello, my name is Rinon, and today I'm mad. I want to talk about an issue that I have seen plague Party Finder in Final Fantasy XIV for absolutely years at this point, and it's also one that with every single tier, with every single meta shift that accompanies them, never really seems to be addressed, because for some reason it's so ingrained in the community psyche that I genuinely believe that most players don't even think about the mistake they are making. Let me tell you a little story to give you an idea of how obnoxious this issue is. One evening last week, I wanted...
What a great time to resub, man, when I'm watching a video. Thank you for the 7 months, though. Welcome back. Thank you, man.
...to practice Black Mage a little bit. So I thought it would be a really nice idea to join some clear parties for P9S, for P10S, and even maybe some P11S as well. They're all 3 fights I'm super comfortable with. I cleared them all day 1. They're all encounters that I am 100% confident I could go into and deal sufficient damage and be pretty consistent on any job, even a new job, right away. I'd even gotten a bunch of loot that week for alt jobs. I'd used it all on my Black Mage, so my Black Mage actually had like 4 Savage pieces on top of Melded Crafted. So I'd say I was in a pretty good place to go into PF and help some people get their clears, right? I was looking forward to it.
I don't like where this is going, man.
Hopefully I'd be able to help some people get their first clear along the way. The first party finder I find looks like a good fit right away. There's 2 spots, one for a tank and one for a DPS. I checked the other 3 DPS players in the party.
He's gonna
There's no Black Mage. There is a Reaper, a Summoner, and a Machinist. Everything is perfect. I click join, and then the dreaded red words appear as my participation is denied. I check the PF again to make sure that nobody had joined in my place and had filled since I last looked. No, nobody had joined to take my spot. So what could have happened? Looking more closely, I find out that that final spot is locked exclusively to melee.
Ah! No, dude! Stop! Oh, you cannot. He said the thing, chat. PF, stop doing this. I'm sure Rinon is about to explain why. Just play melee. No.
I can't quite understand why they've done this. So I go ahead and I send a tell to the party leader to let them know about their little accident, you know, maybe they weren't aware. You've locked the PF to double melee, I say.
I do this a lot.
I can join if you open it up to casters, I follow up with. 3 minutes go by, tick, 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 tick. I'm getting bored, I'm getting annoyed, I'm looking at the other PFs. Eventually,
I'm happy for you, Kashi.
I get the reply I've been waiting on. Full now. PF gone. This is not an isolated incident either. This is a little bit anecdotal, but when I check Savage Party Finders, there has to be double melee lock on at least half of them at any...
Let's have a look right now. Let's have a look. That was probably locked to double melee. Let's find one of some slots. Oh, double melee. Wait, double melee. Oh, I thought they banned Black Mage. I was about to scream. 11. Okay, this is normal. Good. Oh, double melee. There's one. This man's even locking double melee for a prog party. Holy fuck! Okay, thank you. A well-made party. It's like every third PF or so, you know? No, there's another one. Good. Oh, there's another one. You get the point, man. One caster, one ranged, one melee, one any DPS. Last slot, any DPS. Ranged can do melee positions. Shut the fuck up. If they can't, you kick them. It's that simple. Double melee ain't gonna get you more damage when little Timmy's got 630 gear in P10S and he's doing 9k because he forgot how to press Midare.
Any given time, at least in EU, it's so common, in fact, that if a player who does PF a decent amount told me that they had never ever ran into it, I really don't think I could possibly believe them. If you weren't aware, ever since patch 5.0 released, players receive a 1% increase to strength, vitality, dexterity, mind, and...
And here's the thing. I yield that Square Enix do not make this clear enough. To find this, you have to go in here, into this menu. Press O, by the way, on keyboard. And when you're in a duty with people, it will appear here. It's not clear enough. But still, we've had this since 5.0. And still this persists.
Intelligence for every unique role in the party up to a maximum of 5%. The 5 roles required are tank, healer, melee, caster, and ranged. I think it's really reasonable for a PF to aim for, or even to expect players to fulfill the certain roles required to get that 5% buff, because it offers you free damage, it offers you free healing, it offers you free HP. In general, those free stats could maybe make the difference between a clear and a wipe in fringe cases, so I can totally understand players locking out, say, triple melee if they wanted to. That makes a lot of sense to me. That's reasonable.
Bro, people on Twitter didn't even understand that. When I moaned about this yet again, I had people saying, yeah, but if you lock triple melee, you get 4%. And I'm like, bro, that's literally like not even the argument. No one told you to do that. What are you talking about?
Additionally, having multiple players on the same job hinders your limit break build speed. You get less limit break generation if you have, say, 2 Reapers. So I can understand wanting to lock parties to 1 player per job for that specific reason. But it only takes 3 DPS slots to get that 5%, leaving 1 left over, which should be accessible to any DPS player that wants to join and fill that spot. So why do people lock double melee in PF? Honestly, I don't actually really know. There is only one duty in the game right now that I feel has a really valid reason for locking double melee, and that is the Omega Protocol Ultimate, due to the design decisions in the fight rather than anything else balance-wise. The general consensus seems to be one of 2 things. Firstly, that melee do better damage, and are therefore better to have unanimously. Secondly, that many strats and positionings are designed with 2 melee players, quote-unquote, and 2 quote-unquote ranged players in mind. Now let's talk about why these reasons don't actually make any sense in the grand scheme of things. Firstly, the strat issue is a simple one. A ranged can simply take one of the melee spots.
Whoa! Oh, did you hear that, chat? Whoa, that's crazy! Truly ahead of its time. I can't believe he just said something so bold.
Problem solved. The adjustments and positioning differences between melee and ranged are usually minuscule, and not only do I have faith in the average party finder player being able to pick up these new positionings within 60 seconds of memorizing the macro, raid plan, or whatever agreed spots you have.
True.
But there are also a significant number of ranged and caster players who are happy to, or in some cases actually prefer to fake melee when they can. A good example of this is that it could be beneficial for a red mage, for example. There may be a red mage player who would actually prefer to have a melee spot if they can, because it allows them to keep uptime on the boss during certain mechanics so they can get their melee combo off without delaying it or pushing it too early. So there are...
Well, as I've said before, I think people need to have some more faith in themselves. Alright, bear with me. I'm about to say something positive. You can be better than you think you are if you just try. There's no point being scared of a position change when, as long as you're focusing on that change when it's required, like in terms of mechanics or whatever, you will beat the muscle memory. You can do it. It does not take much. You know, a lot of people that push back against this think that, like, we're asking the world of people. And that it's just a game and, you know, we shouldn't care. And, you know, we're asking too much. Like, bro, no, we're not. Like, stop acting like this is hard. You can do it. You just don't try. It's really it.
Absolutely scenarios where casters genuinely prefer to have a melee spot if it's accessible to them. Every time that you limit the type of jobs that can join your party finder, you are simultaneously drastically reducing the number of players that can come and join. And when you do that, you increase the amount of time you're likely to be sitting around waiting and doing nothing, when you could be pulling, clearing up strats, potentially even clearing. Secondly is the idea that a melee is always going to do more damage than a caster or a fizz ranged player. What people are missing here, honestly, is skill diff. You cannot say enough about letting a player play the job that they are most comfortable on.
True.
A higher skilled summoner or machinist is going to outperform a melee that is of lower skill tier than them easily. And that's
lower skill, lower gear. Look, there is a big disparity between melee and ranged still. Yes. But the importance of gear and player skill difference cannot be overstated. It's not an insult. It's just the facts.
without even starting on the fact that Black Mage has well and truly elevated itself to the podium of doing melee tier damage once more. On top of this, players will be more mechanically consistent on jobs that they have played more of, and if you are open to letting people play a job they're really good at, even if it isn't as meta as another, you're almost certain to lead to less wipes and more consistent clears.
True.
Job balance in Final Fantasy XIV, as much as we debate and discuss and complain about it, is really good in the grand scheme of MMOs, and even the worst jobs in the game are absolutely capable of clearing any content.
That is true.
Especially with the current raid tier Anabasios, DPS checks are super low on the whole. You could easily take the worst possible damage dealing party comp, and as long as players know their jobs and there aren't too many deaths, you should have no problem beating DPS checks. I suppose I should add a little bit of a disclaimer here because I can already read the comments I'm about to get in my head. I am discussing here about PF for general weekly clears, progression, or clear attempts.
True.
If you want to lock a specific comp for, say, optimization or speed runs or a more focused group goal, go ahead. But for those general PFs that want to get...
I have never said you shouldn't do that. I know he's not calling me out or anything, but I'm just saying, because, you know, I talk about this shit a lot, right? I have never once said that you shouldn't do that for, like, logs and stuff. I still don't think you should lock any jobs out, because logs are logs, man. Like, if you lock jobs out for that, you're just being selfish. But for things like speeds, like more optimal prog, you know, in a high-end group, like it just like a more meta-focused comp is fine. Nobody said that double melee is bad. But you don't need it to clear anything. Besides top. But even then, like even soon enough, like that's gonna become untrue as well. At latest 6.5 when the new dungeon glam comes out. Dungeon gear comes out.
In, get their loot or book, and get out. There is no reason at all for the lot. So I want to ask you again. Why are there so many people in our community defaulting to excluding players from Party Finder based on these arbitrary, stupid reasons like I want double melee? Let's change for the better. Next time you stick up a PF for Savage, make sure you open the 4th DPS slot to any role. Welcome the players in regardless of what jobs they play. You won't see a major difference in performance, but you're going to get to pull faster. You're going to get to give somebody else a slightly easier time getting to pull as well. Your parties will fill faster, and especially for clear parties, you are more likely to find players that want to practice or try out a specific job that are willing to help when they've already got their weeklies if you open yourselves up to more jobs in the first place. I'd love to hear your opinions on this. I'll be reading the comments on this video, so if you have a conflicting opinion or you want to add your 2 cents, I'm really interested to see what you have to say. Thank you so much for watching, friends. I really appreciate you.
Thank you for making this video.
And I hope to see you soon in PF. As long as you don't lock double melee, that is. Have a good one.
Thank you. I'm gonna write this here. Give it a like, give him a sub. The man speaks the truth. I am not crazy, chat. Stop doing this. I have been loud about this ever since, God, I don't know. Promise, probably? I think Eden's Promise, I have been loud about this. But I am just one man. Help spread the word. Share the video with your friends. Thank you, Rinon, for making that video.